You might have noticed that we have been operating inside files that said package main at the top and had a func main inside of them. We also have been using lowercase and camel case naming for all variables, all structs and functions. This all have a special meaning in Go. If you start by looking at packages, in Go, package main is a special package that acts as an entry point for our programs, with func main being the one that kick everything off. This means that when we run a Go program, we can point it to either a main.go file or to a directory that has a main.go file inside of it. Go will then look for a func main and start the program from this point. So if we were to say something like fmt print hello world, and then go and say go run main.go, in the terminal this would then print out hello world. Okay, so let's try and add another file here, and let's create a file called output.go. This is also in package main, and let's say it has a function called print hello world that just says fmt print hello world. Give that a save, and now we can go in our main.go file and say print hello world, give that a save, and now again if we run go run main.go, we will see that we get an error because it only knows about one file if we point it directly to the main.go file. What we need to do is we need to run it by pointing it to the directory. So instead, if we are to go out into the terminal, we need to say go run and then a dot if we're in the current directory, and we will now then see that it prints out hello world in the terminal once again. Hi, Morten here. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to tell you about my course, Master Full Stack Golang, from which this video is a part of. We start completely from scratch and progressively build up to a production-ready block that you will deploy on your own server, and we will cover things like databases, authentication, SEO setup, and much more. So, if you want to learn full-stack web development in Go and become a professional web developer, go to mastergolang.com and get started today. Now, back to the video. But having everything in the same directory can quickly become hard to manage. Also, we might have code that we don't necessarily want to be used in specific places. To solve this, let's create a new directory called outputs. And inside here, we're going to move the outputs.go file. So let me just delete it. And then we jump in here and say outputs.go in package outputs. And then inside here, we can now specify print hello world once more. And we're just going to say hello world again. Great. However, if we now go into our main.go file, you will see that we have an undefined. It doesn't know about this print hello world function anymore. And that is because we have moved that function into another package. Now, how can we expose this print hello world function? Well, the way Go deals with public and private variables or elements is through naming and not through keywords that you see in other languages. If something is lowercase, it's a private element and can only be used within the packet that it was created. To expose this print hello world function from our outputs package, we will need to go inside outputs once again and then uppercase it. Now this function is exposed from the output package, and we can go inside our main.go file here and say outputs. There we go, and now we have access to this print hello world function. Notice how we also have an import statement underneath the package main, which I will explain in just a minute where this comes from. But essentially, this is how we can group our code into packages that have semantic meaning and be reused, but also only reuse what we what we want to share from certain packages. It's always important to think about what you expose from a package, as other packages can come to rely on it. A good rule of thumb is to be liberal in what you accept, but conservative in what you return. And always start your variables and structs and functions as private and then make them public as you need. Finally, we need to talk about Go modules. If you have checked the repository where all of these code examples are, you might have noticed a go.mod file. This file is required for every Go project and is used to track our project and is the project's dependencies. I have already created this file and given it the project name master full stack Golang, but to create this file, we simply go into an empty directory and then we say go mod init and then the name of our package. In this case, it would be the full stack or master dash full stack dash Golang, which will then create a go.mod file and we can begin working. This name, master full stack Golang, is the same as we saw earlier when we imported the outputs package. In the next module, we will start laying the foundations for the app completely from scratch, including initializing this module, so you will see how everything works and how it looks, starting a new go.mod from scratch.